Hello, my Teaserking family. And how is everybody today? Happy Easter yesterday. I didn't know it was Easter till I went to the club after the show, after the class, to go swimming, and it was closed. I think they closed early yesterday. I mean, they normally close 4:30 on Sunday anyway, but I think they closed at like noon on the holidays. So I get there's no cars. Oh well. But happy Easter. What should we talk about today? Well, I'd like to start off with free markets because I don't think anybody understands them yet. What is a free market? Because you hear a lot about inflation, which nobody understands except for us. And prices will be going up, and the prices, we control the prices going up or not. Okay. If we don't want to pay $5 for a 2-liter Coke, we don't pay it. We don't pay it, they lower the price. Because the price can only go what the market says. So in other words, if you want to make this $200 for the bottle and nobody wants to pay for it, it doesn't stay $200. I don't care what your cost did. This cannot go to $200 if we're not willing to pay for it. We control the market, but yet nobody tells anybody that we control the market, right? You never hear that. Well, there's going to be inflation. Oh, look out. Prices will go up. No, not necessarily. The only thing we know is this is being devalued. Theoretically, it takes more of these to buy this, right? So now I need 100 of these to buy this. In theory, right? Well, it costs more to make it. Let's put it that way. If they can't substitute away from it. So if they're using barley and oats and whatever they use to make the whiskey, they can find them cheaper because the prices went up. You don't have to pay more. So you're constantly looking for competitive goods, substitute goods. If avocados go to $10 an avocado, I'll buy something else. So far, they're actually going down. I got these for 79 cents at Meijer's yesterday. It's like unbelievable. They're still very cheap. There's one to look right. Can't quite get the spoon in it. So then you got to eat it like an apple, where you kind of bite into it, but that's okay. So anyway, we control the market, and the supplier controls, the buyer controls the market to a point. There's demand. So we have two different things going on. You want the Canadian Club, you want the avocado, and it's there. You'll pay $1 for it. You'll pay $2 for it. Or you pay $10 for it. You're going to say, no, I'm not. I'll substitute. But then you have the silver and gold market where I want it, but it's not available. So that's just a normal supply demand. That's really not inflation. It's just strictly the market doing what the market does. So there's two different factors going on. If the price of the whiskey goes up because their cost went up, you don't have to buy it. The price, you don't have to pay more, will come down because the way they run their business is to sell the whiskey. If they don't make a sale, they got to lower their price. So you're always trying to find the price. That's always the information that the market is looking for, is the price. So on one hand, you're trying to sell the whiskey or the Coke or the Crest mouthwash for my trip. It's $1. It went up to $1.20 or whatever. So you're trying to sell the product, and you have to sell the product because that's your business. You have to cover your cost. So your product goes up or down in price. You figure it out, what people are going to pay for it. That's the first part of the market. Inflation is the money. You need more money to goods. Now you either substitute away and buy something that's more you can afford, or you pay for it. You know, I absolutely have to have Canadian Club whiskey. I'm going to pay whatever. Or avocado. Now, if it's $10 an avocado, I'm still going to buy it. And that's one end of the market, how we control it. If you make them $10 and nobody buys avocados and they all start going soft and they got to throw them out, they lower the price because they have to make sales because they paid for it. So Kroger's pays for the avocados, whatever, from the farmer, and then they mark them up. Now, if nobody buys them from Kroger, Kroger must lower their price and pay less to the farmer. Sorry, farmer, you got to pay less. And this is why the economy slows down, and this is where we get all sorts of problem with inflation. Anytime costs go up, either prices go up or companies go out of business. And that's what has to happen. Now, so we have example A, Coca-Cola, Oreo cookie Cheerios, making their prices more expensive, and then people say, no, I'm not going to pay. I'll get the no brand stuff. You know, screw it. I'm not going to pay $10 for a box of Cheerios. So the market's been set at $3 for Cheerios. Excuse me for eating. So that's what the market's at. So the market's at $3. Now you're saying, okay, pay 10. And the market says no. This is why stocks drop, because Cheerios aren't going to make their profit margins. They're probably not even going to make money because they can't sell the product to cover their cost unless they can find a way to keep their costs down. So they don't buy from farmer A, they buy from farmer B who has cheaper prices. This is what we'll have to see. But so you have that side of the equation is prices tell you, the market tells you what you can do. Can you still maybe you got to go out of business. If you're not making 20%, if I'm, if my costs have now gone up to $90 a bottle because my electricity, my heat, taxes, whatever it is that I can't do without, and the market says, no, I'm only going to give you 50, you got to go out of business because you can market 110 to cover your costs, but nobody, you don't have to buy it. Right. So you go to the competition and you buy the other, or you don't buy the whiskey because you go, it's not good for me. So that's what the market can do. That's why I say we control everything. Excuse me. So there's that. And then we have gold and silver, which is a different part of the market. That's where we're demanding gold and silver, and they're keeping it low, is the other end of the spectrum. And we keep buying it, and they keep it low until there is no more to buy, and then the price goes up. But only then we're happy because we want the price to go up. So on Coca-Cola and Canadian Club and Cheerios, if the price goes up, we go somewhere else. We eat something else. We go to a substitute good or the competition. If it's gold and silver, and the price goes up, we can't, but we still want it, right? So the market's up here going, we want it, and the price is here. So they start raising their price, we still buy it. But that's a different animal. That we're buying for money. We're buying to make money. We're buying, it's the only game in town that's going to make money. Which I still never see buy gold. I saw something yesterday to buy these paintings. You don't even own the painting, you just buy a percentage of it. I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. So you have to actually own the gold and silver, as I pointed out yesterday. So there's two different markets. So that market, you're buying as supply dries up, there's nothing to substitute. You're buying gold and silver. As the price goes up, you're still buying it. Then there becomes a time you just don't have the money. You can't afford it. But then you start cashing it in, saying, okay, great. I just made a bunch of money. I'm going to cash it. Most people are not understanding at all what the fuck's going on. I saw one clip today. It said gold might go to 15,000. And then they're trying to say, but first it'll go to, it was like so stupid. First it's got to go to 3,000. Does it? I don't think so. So we've got the Joe Montana rookie card. I hate these things. I told you it was going to happen. I told you it was coming. Yeah, really? Oh, should I say that on my videos? Look like an idiot? So let's go and see what I did. So now, I don't like this one at all. Is gold headed to 15,000? They show Andrew Maguire, but Andrew Maguire is not speaking on it. And the guy says, well, it's got to go to 3,000 and then 5 and then 10 till it hits 15. No, it could hit 15 tomorrow. It could go boom, boom. Because it's not market driven. Once the market gets a hold of it, it could easily go 25,000 from 3,000 from 2,000, because it's not a market that we're looking for, a real market, physical market. Well, we're not seeing that. It's a price fix market. And that's part of what this reset is. This will be reset to where the Russians and Chinese want it, and that's kind of what they mean. This price is so fucked up. They're going to reset it to reality, and that doesn't necessarily mean 3,000 or 5,000. It could go 25,000. So that's what you have there. And I'll hear leak $24,000 disaster. Well, we know that. That's the point. Governments are idiots. They don't know anything. This is trying to say how these businesses collapse. Well, businesses collapse are not bad. I'm sure you would have said that when you're talking about the buggy whip, right? Oh, the buggy whip, the horse and buggy collapse. Okay, well, we had the car. It's not a problem. A lot of it is Kmart's gone because of Amazon and things like that. So they're making a big deal out of nothing. American stores that will probably disappear. Who cares? The product won't disappear. Look at malls. Are there as many malls as there were? No, well, because of Amazon. Can you still go get a toothbrush? Yeah. Go to Target and Meijer to get your toothbrush as opposed to a mall? Yeah. We don't need Kmart anymore. Walmart supposedly going away. I don't know. I was just there. Everything looked fine. Prices were good. Shelves are stocked. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Now, are there options where I can get it, where I can substitute? Absolutely. Is there competition? Yes. So what happens is in the market, the competition eats away the bad. It's sort of like the NFL, right? The teams like Houston and Indy and Detroit should be out of the league. They can't compete. They're not good. They're always terrible. And then you have your star teams, KC. Now it changes. Cincinnati got Burrow. That's a good team. Buffalo's a better team now. We used to have Oakland and Miami. Dallas were really good teams, are now getting better, but not the elite anymore. Now Kansas City's the elite with Cincinnati and San Francisco. If they don't lose their quarterbacks, right up there. Philly, very strong team. So it keeps changing, and that's the cycle of business, right? You get like Burger King, they're closing a lot. I think I have something on them. Yeah. Burger King bankruptcy. What the fuck's going on with Burger King? Oh, they can't compete. Again, costs went up. People choosing Wendy's or McDonald's over them. It's not like there's not going to be hamburgers. It's not like there's not going to be Wendy's or McDonald's. Burger King can't compete. They're the fucking Lions, Detroit, right? They can't compete. They got to go away. A lot of their stores are closing up. Now, there's a few reasons. Probably most obvious is inflation. As their costs go up for the meat and the buns, the rent, the utilities, these Burger Kings, McDonald's, and Wendy's and Taco Bells are forced to raise the prices on their menu, which they can't do. People go there, are probably on a smaller budget and cannot take a price increase. Or maybe they go on Saturday, before they were going on Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday and Wednesday. Now they're going maybe Tuesday and Saturday. They're not going as much. That's what tends to happen. And they end up, they can't. You go to other restaurant. You go to a Coney Island. So you know what? It's $6.50 for a hamburger here, and it's a big hamburger with a guy cooking it in the back, and I can get that instead of a Burger King. So the only difference is Burger King's fast food. I drive and get it and leave, versus sitting down in the booth, ordering, getting it, and so. My process at a sit down is maybe a half hour versus, well, let's say you got to drive 10 minutes to get to Burger King. You got to stand in the line and then order and then get it. That's another 10 minutes and then 10 minutes home. You're still a half hour, and you're not going to pay more for the Burger King because of the quality. It's a fast food thing. So as prices gone up, Burger King, let's say, and McDonald's, and when now needs to charge $9 or $10 for their food, which they can't do because we're sitting here going, I'm not paying $10 for a Whopper. It used to be 2 or 3, okay, 5, but I can't afford the 10. And my costs have gone up because I can't escape rent increases, electricity increases, heat and gas. I can't substitute away from them. So therefore, I'm screwed. And then gas for my car is starting to inch up a little bit. So you're kind of like, well, I can't afford more for just a Wendy's hamburger. So what the professor does is I go to a higher end grocery store where their loss leader, which is like their come into the store, is usually the meat. So I can get 3 pounds of ground sirloin, 91% or 86% for $5. I got 3 pounds. I make 9 hamburgers. Why would I spend? So basically for 3 hamburgers, I'm spending $15, right? No. For 9 hamburgers, because the whole thing is 3 pounds at $5 is $15. For $15, I'm getting 9 burgers. Why the fuck would I go to Burger King and spend $7 or $8 on one that is certainly not as good as the meat I'm getting from this higher end grocery store? And the cost of 9 burgers at $15 is not even $2 a burger. That would be 18. So I'm not even paying $2 for my healthy burger that I'm making with olive oil and good seasoning and everything else and good meat versus a Burger King one. So they kind of, that's how you compete. That's the competition, is to go to the grocery store and cook it yourself. Well, if you know what you're doing, it's easy to cook, tastes better, it's much healthier, as we know. So you do that. And then here's Burger King. The only way to get me back is to go back to $5 a burger, which you can't do because your costs are up. Hence, Burger King bankruptcy. Hundreds are closing because it becomes a matter of economics, as everything in life and anything, sports, football, poker, women, it's all economics. So Burger King can't sell them for $5, but the market's $5. Burger King's up here at $8, and the market says, "Sorry, I'm not paying $8 for the Whopper," and then they lower it. Now I just saw Wendy's do this. All of a sudden, Wendy's, their price went up, sales are down. What are they doing? Oh, well, you can get a single Dave's burger for, I think it's two for $6. You can get two singles for $6, or that and a Coke for $6, or that and fries for $6, or chicken and a hamburger for $6. So they're basically putting them on sale because they can't get more. And that's, again, us. We are doing that because we're sitting there going, I'm not paying it. And they either lower their prices or get out of, or go bankrupt like Burger King's doing. Burger King can't compete, they're out. Right? So Wendy's has a lot of money, but they cannot, they're going to have to absorb the higher cost. Now, some of the higher costs, the electricity, the heat, all those utility things, rent, property tax, I don't know if they went up. They're not really inflationary, a little bit, but not right now. Mostly the plant, if you had a plant, but I'm not sure how Wendy's, if they even have a plant, or do they just send the meat from the cattle place to the thing, and they can probably control the price pretty well of the meat. So that's what they have. But as it becomes as it goes over market, they're fucked. Sales drop. So they got to come back to market. So that's why everything is determined by market, and the price is crucial. That's your knowledge. $5, that's all you're going to get. Then you go back to square one. All right, we're Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's. What's our cost? We know we can only sell it for $5. Can we make any money? Burger King's coming up going, I can't sell it. I'm bankrupt. I'm out. Let's see what happens with McDonald's and Wendy's, but it wouldn't surprise me if they went out, if the things keep going up and the market, us, keep saying, no, we're not going to pay it. So that's why when I hear these idiots going, oh, prices are going to go up, prices are going to go up. Not necessarily. Prices will not necessarily go up. They only can go up if we allow it, if there's no competition and there's no substitution. So if I want to get a gym shoe, I can buy the Bobby Bow, or I can buy the Nike, or I can buy Reebok, or whatever I want to buy. But if the Bobby Bow is cheaper and it's the same quality as a Nike or Reebok, I'm going to buy the Bobby Bow. Makes sense. But the problem is how much money do we have now? What's happening to us is this $24 trillion disaster. That's the debt, right? So the problem is most people are into their ears in debt. Well, I'll just use credit card. I'll pay it later. And they're not making enough. They're not getting increases. In fact, when I'm looking for work, salaries are going down. So you got to take less or whatever. I'm just waiting for gold and silver to go up, and then I'll never work again once it goes through the roof. I'll just cash. I won't cash it in, but I'll cash in what I need as we go. But I won't. I won't need to return to work. But that's what you have is you're the market, so you control it. They can't, as we always talk about the ribs, going to $40 and the market at 25 for my barbecue place, right? It's the same. It's the exact same thing. If he sells it here, the market's down here. He won't survive. The only way he survives is to leave the price where the market is at. Now, what he's doing is he's charging more for chicken. He got rid of the wet naps. He's got to figure out a way to survive without charging $40 for the ribs that he'll never get. If he's getting, let's say he does 100 slabs of ribs a day at 26, 27, he goes to 40, he'll be lucky to do 10 because people can't afford it and they're not about to go into more, okay, right now they probably credit cards. So they're working. He can kind of get away with a little bit more and people using their credit cards to pay for it. But as everything goes and gets more expensive, you run to the competition and the substitutable goods, and you certainly aren't going to pay more for ribs. Maybe you go once a month now, but you certainly don't pay more for them and eat them every day. So his quantity of sales are going to go down. And that's what'll happen at the rib place. You can see that's what's happening at Big Boy or Burger King. Big Boy, I just ate at, was ridiculous. I got, you can get the regular Big Boys like $10 for these little tiny hamburgers. And now a double, which is what I get because I want to eat something. So you get 2 patties and 2 patties, and they're pretty decent size. And now they're $14. I ain't going back there because I'm getting one hamburger with maybe a half pound of beef for $14, or I can buy 3 pounds for the same $14 at the grocery store 100 feet away, which I can go cook myself, and I don't need to pay all that money. So that's really what happens. The same thing with chicken. You can get chicken $1.79, $2.79 a pound. You get the big breasts, you cut them up, you can broil them, you can put them in the frying pan, whatever you want to do with them. You got a lot of chicken for the next 3 or 4 days. So that's one way to beat the high prices is you're using competition, and the competition for that is the grocery store. So I don't eat out as much because it just saves me a ton of money to go to the grocery store and cook. Plus I'm eating healthy. So that's kind of how you defeat these high prices. So that's why when they say high prices, it's like, look, if we don't pay more for it, I'm looking for bathing suits for the trip, and I went to Dunham's or Dick's Sporting Goods. There was $50 for a bathing suit. I said, fuck that. I don't pay $50 at Lord & Taylor's. Why would I pay $50 here? So I basically did not. I just walked out. What I tend to do is near the end of the season, near September, Labor Day, I'll go to the discount mall up north, about an hour from here. Then I'll buy the bathing suits cheap. And I don't care. I go to the pool every day. The problem is with the one I have, it faded from all the chlorine. So I need a new one for the trip. But that's basically the market controls everything. And that's what they're trying to get away from. The communists don't want us to have competition or substitutable goods. The communists are saying, you're only going to have one brand of swimsuit, and we're going to sell it for $50, and it's going to be black, and that's your choice. I mean, that's the way the communists think. They'll run the economy. And you can't. It's got to be Say's law is the best way to run the economy. I want a blue bathing suit, and then if somebody makes it, that's what I buy. By me buying their goods, I set the price and I set what we're selling, right? If everybody wants blue and green bathing suits, that's what they make. And if everybody's going to pay $30, $35 for them, that's the price. Polo comes in, tries to sell it for 75. Lots of luck. You'll not do it. I got the polo shirts, right? And I got them on a holiday for like $35 for real comfortable polos. Then I go back, they're 105. I'm going, fuck you. And then I bought some Colombians, and I've been wearing this for a while. The Colombians and the Nauticas. What do I care? It's got a different logo on it, but it's still a shirt. It's comfortable. It looks good. I like the colors. So what the hell do I care? You have to be brand like that. Now, that might be the INFJ in me. I don't give a fuck. I don't need to wear a polo shirt. I can wear Columbia or Nautica, or, I can wear other brands. It doesn't bother me as long as I like the look of the shirt and I'm going to wear it and it fits. I don't give a shit about the other stuff. So that's what the market does. And this is why when I keep hearing costs are going to go up, they can try to raise the cost again as this. Right. So what's really happening is the value of this is dropping. It takes more of these to buy my blue shirt, my bathing suit. But if Polo wants to charge $100 to cover their cost, they miss the point of the market. The market says, sorry, Polo, I'm going to buy it for 35. And if you want to sell it for 100, you're not going to sell any and you're going to go out of business. So you either get with the program and come down to 35, or you're going to have a lot of inventory sitting on the shelves at 100. We make that determination. We say, I'm not spending 100. They have to lower their prices, because if the inventory doesn't move, sales drop to zero. We didn't sell any. And then now it's closed, that food, so it can stay. But eventually what you'll see, like you see with Oreos and Cheerios and Coke at the grocery store, they put it on sale, right? All of a sudden, Oreos two for $5 or two for $4. So all of a sudden, no, it's like two for $3. So instead of charging $3, they charge $5, but if you buy the second one, we'll only charge you $1 more. So it'll be $6 and you get two of them. So they're trying to move their inventory by lowering the price because they're over market. That's exactly what they're doing. Only I doubt anybody but us understand what's going on here. So that's really the trigger. If you don't sell your inventory, you're out of business. So you either stay in business. So just because your costs went up doesn't mean you can pass them on to the consumer. Hence, when everybody says prices are going to go really high, not necessarily. Not if we sit there and don't buy it and buy we go to the substitute, or we don't buy as much. We don't go get ribs every day of the week. We go once a month. I get my Chinese once a week. It goes to twice, or once a week. I might go once every other week. I mean, that's how you do it. And then you keep going to the grocery store, and then you're just making more food at home. That's very cheap. Your biggest expense is your spices and your olive oil, and that's it. It's funny, at the expensive store, I can get my olive oil $7 cheaper than at Meijer's. I don't understand. It's always been cheap at this one at the high-end grocery store, where my Ken's salad dressings are $2 more and my honeydew is $2 more, but yet my certain brand of olive oil that's now $19 at Meijer's, I can get for $12 at the expensive grocery store. And I'll buy 2 bottles because I'm scared it's going to go up, but it doesn't. It just stays there. It's just, I don't know, but I'm fine. I found a little thing, and that's what I buy. But I eat a lot of everything I cook, my eggs, if I make the chicken, if I make a burger, olive oil. And it's extremely healthy. You cannot eat the vegetable oils and all that. It's just, you're killing yourself. So basically, you're looking for competition. You don't want a GM, you buy a Ford, you buy Mercedes, you buy Toyota. See, there's competition. What the communists will say is, no, you got to buy the Russian brand or the Cuban brand. That's it. There's going to be one brand, and we're going to set the price for it. And if you don't like it, don't buy it. And that's why communism doesn't work. Their market doesn't listen to the people. We're the ones buying it. That's why Keynesian economics doesn't work. They want to do charts and come up with equilibriums. Well, they don't work because it changes day to day, right? All of a sudden, a new product comes in, or Dr. Stan says, don't eat this. Bobby comes on and says, I like pig's ears, and we all run and buy pig's ears or whatever. And therefore, when we do that, we change the scope of the models. The models no longer work once there's a change made. I apologize. I say I'm freezing. Now I'm okay. So it's a YouTube problem, not my internet. So that's why you got to get the concept down. Is we determine the market. This is what we're going to buy. We're gonna pay $50 for Canadian Club. And it's funny because this is age 12 years, and this is 1997. It was age 12 years. So we set the price. We say we'll pay it. Well, it's worth $50 to us. You go and try to sell it for $100, we don't buy it. You're fucked if you're Canadian Club, and the smart companies, like the smart football teams, understand what the market is. So why New England was so successful, they understood they couldn't pay Brady the $30 million, and they couldn't spend a lot on a receiver or running back or anybody. So they never spent. They always spent they would never buy the $20 million player. They'd buy the $7-8 million players and buy a lot of them because of injury. So New England figured that out. Now, the problem with it is now you don't have a quarterback who can win all the games for you. And that's why New England's struggling. They need Tom Brady. They were smart. They would start Zappy at least. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. It's funny. They're shopping Max Jones around, and nobody wants him because he sucks. It's not hard to see the guy sucks. All right. And that's why I say what I say about Alabama. All these quarterbacks that come up from Alabama suck because it's a system thing. Same thing with Ohio State. It's a system thing. Because it's a system thing, when they get to the NFL, the system doesn't work. Hence, they don't do good because they don't have wide receivers running wide open because the secondary are not pro secondary on the teams Alabama plays unless it's LSU or Clemson in the day or Ohio State. They're not playing professional secondary. So, of course, their guys are fast. They run by them, and the guy just lays it up with easy throws. The blitzing, they never learn how to read a blitz or how to check off. Like Brady would see the blitz, and he'd look at the receiver, and he'd do it's a 2-yard pass. The blitz would come, and he'd get rid of the ball right away. You don't see these Alabama, Ohio State guys do that. They don't understand that. They don't know what they're looking for. Let's just say it's too fast for them. So that's why I say what I say. But the problem with the NFL now, these $40 million quarterbacks, but now the receivers want 30, like a Tyreek Hill, $30 million for him. Well, wait a minute. That's why KC let him go. They couldn't. You either pay Mahomes or Hill. Well, we're going to pay Mahomes, and he won another Super Bowl. So that's really what you have. And with Tyreek Hill, to get $30 million, you got to be out of your mind to pay your receiver $30 million. He's a good receiver, but you got to pay Tagliabue or whoever the quarterback is. Now you got to pay him. How much you got left for your defense? None. So it gets to the market, and that's really what I'm talking about. How it works in sports. So you don't want to pay anybody $30 million. And frankly, Kansas City won the Super Bowl paying one guy 30 million, Mahomes. Okay, you can get away paying one guy as long as he's the shit. Like Joe Burrow, you can get away paying him, but you got him and Chase, so you're going to have a problem. And then you got defense to pay, and and then your offensive line, and so it's becoming too expensive. So you got to get cheaper players that when you get injuries, like Cincinnati, all the offensive line injuries, and they still with that bad call on the defensive guy, still could have went to the Super Bowl. But so you've got to pay your offensive line enough and have enough of them. So you only got so much of a pie to work with. Well, that's the way companies are, right? They have so much money. They can substitute away some of it. And then they got to go. And then in the back, they got to go, should we stay in business? What's our cost? Now you got inflation. How good can we handle it? So you're the rib place. Can you buy your ribs at a different butcher or a different a different cattle producer in Texas or whatever? Can you buy it from them? And that's really the point is, are they all the same price? You can't get away from the $45. You can't get away from your increased cost. Now you're in trouble. Can you sell it for that? Can I make the ribs and sell it? I told the guy, take a couple of ribs off. I said, don't, you sell 13 ribs for, $45, sell 11 ribs for, $30. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but you can't start selling it for 45. You won't have any customers. You will close your door. So he doesn't understand I'm trying to help. Well, one guy understands, the other guy doesn't. But it only works if you can substitute and buy ribs from somebody else. Otherwise, I don't know. They've already got the ovens. They've got the cooks. I don't know where else you cut costs. And what he did is he raised the chicken. Chicken cost hasn't gone up. I'm still buying them $179 when they're on sale for a pound of the big breast. So he went from 9 to 13. I'm not sure why. No, I get half a chicken, but am I really, okay, I'll let you get away with a few dollars more, but don't keep going. So that's one way he's offsetting the higher rib prices. So you've got to look at the whole picture. They got to look at the market, and the market's always talking, this is what I'll pay. So in gold, our favorite subject, so at the store Saturday, as I told you yesterday, but we'll revisit that. So I buy 10 ounces of American Eagle, still at 35, even though on eBay they're 43. And excuse me. So he didn't change his price, but he should have. Now on the market, I would have went maybe to 40 and bought a little bit less, but it's a no-brainer to keep buying them at this price. So here you have the reverse, where I'm going to be backing away from ribs at $45 a slab. When you keep, the demand is here for gold and silver, and your price is here. So I'm going to keep buying and buying and buying because your price is so low. It'd be like selling the ribs for $5 a slab, and you're willing to pay $25. Or like my Chinese, I'm willing to pay $20. She's at $13.99. I'll buy it all day. Thank you. So that's what you have. And you have to understand that. So that's what you're seeing with that is the market. So because gold and silver, now we are advanced, so we see what's coming, right? KGB's ate the Orioles. We know he's got a big hand. So we're up here in demand on gold and silver. We see gold 40, 50,000 an ounce. silver 2, 3, at least maybe 5,000 an ounce. So we're being conservative there. Let's say 1,000. Again, you're paying 25. So the question is, buying the $1,000 ounce for 25 all day, even for 35. Okay, still cheap. It's still going to be 1,000 an ounce. So we're looking into the future, seeing that versus the other market of the ribs going to 45. We're not going to pay. It's too expensive for us. But the gold, we're going to get gold at, we pay $2,000 for an ounce it's going to be worth 50,000. We'll do it all day. Silver's better because we can easily afford 10 ounces of silver. I paid $350 for. We can afford that all day and night, right? And again, I want to get out of this crap to get into that. So that's how the market really controls it. So when they say prices are going up, it's not, they don't know what they're talking about. Not necessarily for things that we can substitute. So when they start talking about digital currency, can we substitute it with gold and silver? Yes. Can we substitute it with paper? Maybe, possibly. That we don't know. That's not clear. But we can have gold and silver can substitute the CBDCs. The electric cars. We can have gas cars. Now, here's why I argue. I go, are you really going to get rid of fucking Mobil, Exxon, BP, British Petroleum, Shell, Speedway? Are these all really going out of business? You're going to force them all out? Can you do that? I don't see how. These are not poor companies. How are you going to possibly tell Shell Oil, you can't sell oil here anymore? And they're just going to sit there and go, oh, okay, I guess we won't. I mean, these are pretty powerful companies, Shell and Mobil. So I feel pretty good that I have a gas-powered car, that those gas stations are going to be open. I don't know how they won't be. That's my logic. I should be able to use the competition of the electric car with the gas car. Even though they want everything electric, they're going to drive the price up and drive out the competition is what their goal is. So they understand Austrian economics a little bit about competition and stuff like that, but they want to play stupid and print money and think that won't hurt it. So you're printing money to devalue the money. We got it. We buy gold and silver because that's the most logical to go up, because that's what everybody will move to. That's why it's going to go up. The demand will be there. Then we get into the digital currency is not ready for 10 years. So what are you going to do? So in my mind, why do you have this? Because I can go to the restaurant and the grocery store and buy food, go get my hair cut, buy food, go buy clothes. That's what this is needed. Now you'll say, well, we got debit cards and credit cards. Yeah, but without this, you don't have them. How are you paying your credit card back? With this. How are you using your debit card? If I don't have $1,000 in the bank and I need to go buy $1,000 clothes, I can't do it because I got to have the money in the bank to pay for the debit card. So while it is electric, it's not digital. Because it is electric, it's just a convenience factor. I'm still using the medium of exchange, this. So they have to, in the near term, come out with new money. So they're blowing up this money, but they'll have to have new money. And I don't know really what the point of that is. I probably wouldn't have blown this money up to come out with new currency. I mean, I don't get it. You're basically the leading economic power in the world, and you're throwing it away for what? What would cause you to be that stupid? And the only thing I think is that the Chinese are running the U.S., and the one who benefits the most is the Chinese because they're number two. That's why I never see us going to war with China over Taiwan, because if China's running us, we're not going to go to war with them. And our military is so fucked up, I don't think they could. I don't think they know what the hell's going on. And who is beeping me now? It's either Jenna or Daria. Daria. God, I really hate this. I can't type a word that I want to type in. It keeps changing it. Wow. Sorry about this. So, as we're saying, I apologize for that. She's in Russia, and it's 1 o'clock here. It's like 8 o'clock there. So, I'm always like, once we hit like dinner time, she's sleeping. So I gotta talk to her when she texts. It's funny. She can text me. Kenzie can't. So this girl's in Russia. Kenzie's in New Hampshire. Whatever bullshit. This is why you don't play games. If they can't call you and they want to make it like difficult, then you just whatever. I don't have time. I don't have time for games. And you shouldn't either. The communist at the hot tub was talking to me, and he says, "Oh yeah, I've been trying to get a hold, talk to this girl. She doesn't really look at me too much, and I've been trying to talk to her, and I basically told him point blank, just let her go. If she doesn't want to warmly, friendly talk to you, why do you keep persisting to talk to her, like to get her to talk to you? Just fuck it. If people want to talk, they talk. And if they don't, you leave them alone. I don't want to talk to the communists because I don't want to sit there and talk about Karl Marx and argue about capitalism over communism and argue about buying gold. I don't need that. I don't mind people. You come here, you're interested. I'm more than happy to help, educate, answer questions. So I do it live. But if a guy wants to argue with me about it, I don't need to prove my theories, which I prove here. It's all what I've learned. So I'm just going through things I've learned, and I am more than happy to explain so everybody gets it. So anyway, I told them I wouldn't waste my time with her. If she doesn't want to say hi, you look at a person, and if maybe they're shy and they look away, but if they keep looking at you, you say hi. And if they say hi, then you have a conversation. If they don't, something else is on their mind, don't bother them. It's not, I need to be liked by everybody, as long as you like yourself. That's the key. So little INFJ for you. So anyway, so that's what the market really is. And that's why prices won't necessarily go up and stay up, like the Oreo cookies, like Cheerios, $5 a box. But next thing you know, you see, you can get a second box for half off. So now it's really $3.50 for 2 boxes. So that's what the grocery store, they have to move their inventory. They can't leave everything on inventory. They'll never stay in business, or they won't reorder from Cheerios or Oreos because they got the whole shelf is full of Cheerios because nobody's going to pay $6 for a fucking box. So what happens? They put it on sale to move the inventory. Probably approved from Cheerios. I'm not sure how that works, but basically that's what you have. So not necessarily prices are going up, only on things that aren't controllable with competition. Your heat, your electricity, your rent does have competition. There are many. I live in an apartment. There's several apartment complexes I can move to. So they can't just raise rent through the roof. The heat and electricity is pretty much whatever you're at. That's probably the only thing, but you can control that. Instead of having it 67 in the house, you have it 65 in the house. And it keeps your bills lower from that. I'm pretty comfortable at 63 here, unless it's really, really freezing out. Most of the time, 63 is very comfortable. And in the summer, I don't even turn on my air conditioning because it doesn't get that hot in my unit for some reason. I really haven't seen the 100 degrees in here, even though it might be out there. So like competition, I took the less expensive flight that fit my schedule to Spain. I checked hotels. I could have paid 8,000. I could have paid 8,000 for the week on one right in the water, or I chose one that's a lot less. That's, I don't know, 700 feet from the water. So I got the price that I could afford, that I would be like, okay, we'll be comfortable here. It's still a nice hotel. So that's what you do. So you take different flights, you take different days, you take different hotels. So it's all competition, and it's all what the market will bear. And that's really, that's economics in a nutshell. The money, this is competing with gold all the time, but nobody lets you know that. And it really is not competing with the other currencies are in the same boat. So you don't really have competition with the dollar and the euro and the yen and the yuan and the ruble and the Swiss franc. They're really all the same. They're all not backed by anything, and they're all printed to death. So the competition with all dollars is gold and silver. Now, how many brokers, money managers, or financial planners are going to put you in gold and silver? Zero. Because they don't make a commission. Why don't they make a commission? Good question. I don't know. They should. No, get into bonds, get into stocks, or now buy a painting that you don't really own. What the fuck is that? That's such a scam. Talk about a Ponzi scheme. How many people own this Peter Max? 1,000? There's only one of them, so who gets it, right? So that's all bullshit. That's the same thing as these ETFs. Do not own them. They're terrible. You're not going to do well with them. You end up getting screwed. Because at the end of the day, you need physical. But I can't afford the ounce of gold. You buy a half ounce or quarter ounce. Like I said, I went into the store Saturday. He had MS 69s, MS 70s, or PSA 10s. So these are like PSA 9s. Graded half ounce gold, because he didn't have anything else to sell. So he's pulling out his graded gold, and he's putting it on the showcase where he sells his gold. I could have bought a U.S. ounce, probably 21 something. Now I'm at the point where I've had enough stakes that I don't need to pay that. Somebody in a different position who needs gold and doesn't have any will have to pay the $21.50, and that's what will eventually happen. So if you've eaten a steak and you can have a second one, you probably will eat the second one, but nothing will taste better than the first one. Then if you're offered a third or a fourth, you don't want it anymore. You've had two, the taste for it is gone. You don't need it. And that's like gold. I mean, you have the first one, you need it, and the second and the third. But once you have 100 ounces, do I want to spend $2,100 for the 101st ounce? Well, I got 100. If it's a good price, I'll buy it. But that's the highest it's been, so I'll let it go. Now, a quarter ounce you might buy. That'd be probably $580, $600. You go, oh, okay, I want more gold. You never have enough gold, and you never have enough silver. Silver's still sitting there. It's down. Let's check the prices today. See where we're at. So silver's 24.78. Like we said, it'll go to 26, but it won't go down much more from there. Gold is at 1991, down 17. This is not profit taking. You can see the 10 o'clock drop happened about 10:15. So you're waiting for that drop, and it started at 10. You can see it starting. If you look at 10 o'clock, it's starting to drop, and it goes till 10:15. Then it goes back up. So it went from 1994 to 1985, and now it's back to 1991. Again, this will go to at least 2050, and then all hell will break loose. And the same with silver, 24.79. Once it goes over 26, it's going to 35. And that's why I argue where people are going, oh, well, it's going to go to 3,000 and then 4 and 5. And no, it's not going to do that, not necessarily. This looks like an incredibly stupid article. Who's behind the gold and silver buying? The central banks. Hello, McFly. What is Will Levis should have him banned from the league because of some Twitter thing? Gets dragged on NFL Twitter for controversial life choice. Many consider this to be loaded. It's not loaded. It's a very weak quarterback class. So he puts mayo in his coffee and eats bananas with the peel still on. Oh my God, yeah, he can't play in the NFL. That's just terrible. All right, let's see what the Dow's doing. The Dow's up 60. So this is, again, the financial planners putting you on the Titanic instead of you're on the Titanic instead of on the gold ship. Why is gold down and yet the Dow going up? Who's in the Dow to go up? Why are you in the Dow? We just talked about the market. So if your costs go up, Burger King, and you can't sell it to the public, you can't pass the cost on because nobody's going to pay more for it, the company loses money. So what stocks are going to go up? Well, we know the autos are getting crushed. Tesla got crushed the other day. Their sales were down. So, I don't know who's going to really benefit from the inflation and who can pass their price on to the consumer, because you really can't. The only industries that can pass it on are industries where there's no competition. Oil. So gas for your car, your electricity and your heat. Those are the only things that really you can't get to competition and substitute. The only thing you can do is don't turn on your air conditioner or your heater, or keep it very, very low as a way of not using it. But I can't go buy, instead of heat, what am I going to get one of those electric heaters? I can buy a blanket and have another blanket, and then wrap myself in a blanket in the house. That could keep me warm. If I have a fireplace, I could start a fire to keep me warm. So you're always looking for competition, but we will see. So again, why would the stock market be up? Because what they're printing, when they print the money, it goes into the stock market. So it looks good. It's almost like in these dating sites where the girl doesn't even put pictures of herself up. She puts pictures of this hot girl up. So she makes it look like she's hot. And then you meet her and she's not the same girl. Wait a minute. This isn't the picture that you sent me. That's kind of what they're doing with the stock market now. They're making it look like the hot girl, but it's not. It's just pretend. But see, they're using psychology. If you see the market at 30,000, you'll go, oh, everything's fine. The market's at 30,000. If you don't dig into it and see that really it's all crap, and the only reason it's there is because they're printing money and putting it in the market, not by market force. So it's not people buying it. That's like if they just put money in Coca-Cola's $10 a bottle for a 2-liter, but then at the store it's on the shelves because nobody's buying it. So again, you need it sold. That's why they can't just make any price up they want. Or when they try to, it's buy 2 bottles, get the third one free. If you buy Coke or Oreos or Cheerios, buy the one box at the $5 and the second box is half off. That's how they do it. And that's why inflation is not prices. Inflation is strictly, it takes more of these to buy it because these are worth less and less and less. And pretty soon they're all gone. So what we're waiting for is Russia-China standard. Once they start printing dollars backed by gold, the price of gold's through the roof, and it's coming real quickly. Probably by the end of summer, I would say. That's all you have. And then with the silver price, it's 24, going to go to 26. And then the next stage is 35. So once it gets past 26, it's 35 and it ain't coming back. So you got a little bit of time, but not much. Like the writing's on the wall now. So that's that. Again, I was watching Rounders, and I'm really looking for, I'm not watching it like I get the story, right? Some idiot keeps saying Doyle Brunson this, and that's why Texas Hold'em. It's funny, he talks about Texas Hold'em in the movie, and then he's playing 7-card stud and Spade Mariah. Like, dude, you're talking about Texas Hold'em, and then you're not even playing Texas Hold'em. Like, why do the same 5 players keep winning, are at the final table of World Series of Poker? Because in the 80s, there was only 10 people playing. So you would have the same 10 at the final table because there was no final table. You started with 10 guys. That's all you had. So you never had that big influx, so the pros would do better. Now you've got 10,000 people. You don't even know any of them at the final table. Once in a while, a Phil Ivey, but generally, you don't have anybody, and it's all luck. The whole game is luck. I don't care what you tell me. It's skill, how you play your aces. Like when KG busted him and slow played his aces, that was skill. But he got lucky that Damon caught the full house and the spade hit on the river. It worked. It was unlucky for Damon, and it was lucky for KGB because KGB thought he hit the flush because he kept checking and checking. So he thought, he hit the flush. I'm going to bet big. since I haven't bet, he can't put me on a hand. Well, he could have if he was smart, and therefore, I'm gonna leave that alone, and then I'll make the big bet. I think he's hit the flush. I got the full house. I win. So, in a sense, Damon got unlucky that the second 9 hit, and then got really unlucky that the spade hit. So that's where the luck factor comes in. Damon played the hand terribly. He bets 2,000. Should have bet 10,000 on the flop because he should have blocked the flush, right? He gets lucky to get the 9, which let's say that's an 8. Now he's got aces and 9s with 4 spades. Maybe then he makes, with 2 spades on the board, maybe that's when he would have bet a lot on the turn, which probably could have saved him. But let's say he got the 8 of hearts instead of the 9. He's got 2 pair aces and 9s. As we saw from the Oreo cookie hand, when he finally figured out his tell, he was going to bet $2,000. So let's say he bets $2,000 on the turn on his 2 pair, so he doesn't catch the flush. KGB probably just checks. The spade hits. He checked, so KGB then bets his 15,000, and then Damon probably goes away because he thinks he hit the flush, and all he's got is 2 pair, and probably saves himself basically 30,000 because he only had put in 2,000 into the pot. So that's where I mean by the luck. He happened to get the 9, which gave KGB aces full, and Damon ace 9's full. So he got unlucky of the card that fell. I don't know about the spade. All the money was going in on the river regardless. He bet 15. Damon's going all in with his full house. Probably still going all in. Not sure. So if the spade doesn't hit and it's a diamond, KGB is going to bet 15 grand on his full house. What does Damon do? Damon doesn't have the full house, has aces and 8s, or Damon has the full house and the diamond hits, so he doesn't have the flush. How does Damon go all in? Now, full house to full house, all the money is going in. Because Damon's not capable of reading KGB, his check 15,000 is a monster hand. He's not capable of reading that. He's capable of slow playing when he flops the nut straight. He's capable of checking, but it shows you how bad most players are because they're not asking the why question. I bet $100 and you call me. My first thought is why? Why are you calling me? What do you possibly have that you're calling me with? And I immediately slow down. You're calling me, are you on a draw for a flush or a straight? Do you have a set? Do you have 2 pairs? What are you doing? Why are you calling? You shouldn't be calling me unless you have a hand. So that immediately pumps my brakes, unless I flop 4 of a kind, in which case I'm not betting anyway until the river. So that's the thing that these people aren't doing. KGB, the guy flops the straight and bets $2,000, and he calls with the bullshit. Well, I guess I'll have to respect myself and call you. That would have alerted me something's going on here. He assumes he's on a draw. Why do you assume that? Maybe he hit trips. Maybe he hit 2 pair. Who knows what it, you can't, and then KGB had aces in that hand, and you saw the difference. He checked the pre-flop. The flop comes with the 6, 7, 10. And KGB starts betting, and Damon calls. He checked and calls. The river's a 2, so again, KGB makes the aggressive bet to get him off the draw, but he's already got the draw. If he didn't have the straight, I don't think he sees the turn. I think the turn comes, he makes the bet, 4,000 or 5,000, and he's out. But he already had it, so he just calls. And then at the end, KGB hits the trip aces, figuring he didn't hit the straight. Maybe he had a set all the way, but I got him now. I got trip aces. There's no pair on the board. There's no full house to worry about. And that's what happened. But he definitely, you can see when he flipped the ace of spades and he's holding it, he's like, oh my God, I got the third ace. I got him. And that was KGB's thought. So he definitely had pocket aces. But you see how he played it. He was much more aggressive with it than the first hand when he early in the movie when he busts him for 30 grand and he's got his aces and he hit 3 aces on the flop, how he checked the 9 hits for the full house, he checks, and then he goes and 15,000s it. You can see the difference the way he played here. Because Damon's on the draw, he doesn't want him to get there. He's making aggressive bets, which is exactly how you want to play. You are definitely more aggressive because you're actually trying to protect, right? You're trying to protect your aces. And you don't have trip aces. So you just have aces, pre-flop, flop, turn. You get your third ace on the river. So you're sitting there trying to protect against him hitting a straight. So that's why you're making the big bet, which is how you should play it. That's when you want to make the bet is to get the guy off his straight or flush. But again, if 3 diamonds flop and I make I bet and he calls, I'm not necessarily thinking he's got 4 diamonds as much as I'm thinking he might have 5 diamonds. So now I'm very, very careful. And if he makes a big bet on the river, I'm out. If I have aces and there's 3 diamonds on board, no more diamonds hit, and now you come out with a $1,000 bet on the river, I'm out. You won. That's good. You won. All I have is aces. You won. You don't fuck around with it. You fuck around with the nuts straight. You fuck around with aces full of 9s. Those are the hands you call the big bets with. You don't call the big bets with aces. Aces are nothing. And then Texas Hold'em with 5 cards out, and you have aces, and the guy bets on you, you're not winning one hand. Believe me, if he's betting in on the river, if he bets, you're beat 100% of the time. If he checks, you just check right along, and maybe he's got kings or queens. But if he's betting the river, a big bet, and you got aces and all of the 5 cards are out, you've lost every single time. Automatically, you've lost. And you don't question it. You beat. There's no reason to put your money in only with aces and think you're going to win. Because you know where you're at. If you've made a bet and he's called, you're fucked. What is he calling with? He should be gone. If he doesn't have a pair, he's got a pair of 7s. Maybe he calls, you get to the river, and he makes a big bet, I'm fucked. If he's called, and then makes a big bet in the river, like what KGB did, call 15,000, you're fucked, get out. But Damon played his full house, not understanding he's beat. And then I love at the end of the movie, he's talking to Kanish, and he goes, He says, I got outplayed. He says, I didn't get beat. I got outplayed in the beginning of the movie. I think he says, I got outplayed. Or I don't remember, but no, it was like, dude, you got so outplayed. You were totally blind as $15,000 bet. And Damon's the big thing. So in poker, there's times you bet a lot to get the guy out, but you have to ask, why are you calling me? So KGB at the end with the aces and the flop 6, 7, 10, he's got the straight, and he comes out and bets a couple $1,000 and he calls. KGB thinks he's on a draw. Well, maybe he's got trip 9s. I mean, you don't know what the fuck he's got. And then the 2 comes out and you bet 4,000. Do you actually think he's calling to see one more card to catch? What would he be catching? 6, 7. So what has he got? 6, 7, 9, 10. He's looking for the 8, or 6, 7, 8, 10. He's looking for the 9. He's going to call $4,000. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. You're not looking for an inside straight I am not calling $4,000 on an inside straight. So I either have 4-5, maybe I have 4-5, 6-7, and now I'm looking 3 or an 8, maybe. But that's where it stops. You put in, you really just need to put in another 2,000. And if he calls you, you're done. That's it. You're done with the hand. He's obviously got either a set or a straight. He's not on a draw. Because most people on a draw would be hesitating, going, fuck, do I want to? Is it worth it? And I tend not to play the draw. Let's say it's 3 diamonds on board and I got the 4th diamond. I'm not going to get paid. So the king of diamonds hits on the river. Am I going to get paid off? Now there's 4 diamonds on the board. The guy knows I got the flush. He's not, I can't make another dollar. It's a stupid play, really, because you're not going to gain anything by catching it. So if I'm in a hand, the way I play, so I'm in a hand with a couple people, and they're betting. Let's say I'm in a hand with one person. Well, more than likely, I'm on a draw. So I'm on a flush draw with one other person. I'm folding. First of all, there's no money in the pot. If he bets 100, do I got to call it to see if I catch my flush? If I do catch, if the 4th heart or club comes off, he's not paying me off. I'll make $100 bet and he folds. So I can't win any money and I have a big risk. So the reward isn't worth the risk because there's no way if I catch the flush and I make a bet, he's staying in. It ain't going to happen. Especially if there's a pair on board, he might have a full house. And I lose if I catch it. So there's no good in, especially if you're in with one guy. I prefer being in with 4 or 5 guys. Well, let's say 3 guys. I bet 50 and there's 3 50-50-50s. Now I'm getting 4-1 on my 3-1 on my odds. I'll stay in and play. That's as far as that goes. But that's how you got to think. But you think that way in everything. You think that way in inflation, in gold. At what price of gold do I not call, right? Silver's at $25 an ounce. I can go get it. If he didn't even have any, he had no bullion. He only had the dollar. So I can go for $35. Why he's not raising the price of that, I don't know. But he's pulling it out of the back. So he can't even get an order in. He's pulling out these stained silver dollars that are like orange and brown and, like, oh, yeah, we pulled them out of the back room. It's like they can't get fresh dollars. The demand's huge. The supply's gone. I showed you the 10 I got here. We're very clean, right? So these here were very sharp, right? Very clean, very nice. This is where you got to be careful. Sometimes they're staying there, but there's no brown on it. It's very, very solid. So that's what I got. I didn't get any stain and no. See, he says if they're scratched. Well, who's fucking around scratching them, right? I mean, mine are in the tube, and my gold doesn't touch my hand. I leave the store in the plastic, right? There's my gold. This is a 1/4 ounce, right? This does not hit my hand. I leave the store with this, so I'm never scratching my gold. Mostly because I like it like that because of the casino chips. That's where I really got the idea was I like you can handle them and they're pretty and everything like that. So that's what I do with the casino chips. So I do it with gold. But silver, there's too much silver I'm buying. I'll buy 20 ounces. I'm not going to buy 20 containers, and there's no reason. Just leave them in the plastic, and you're fine. You just don't scratch them. So even if they get a little bit faded or stuff, they don't care. Believe me, if I walked in with really good silver, they're going to buy it because they don't have any. And they're trying to sell their silver that's stained. I mean, this is scratched. Like he had copper out. It's like he doesn't have inventory. He's out. He can't get any more because demand's this high and there's nothing there. So keep that in mind with what's coming up. You get your money out of the bank before you can't. I read all these YouTubes by these idiots also, the shifts and the rules and these idiots. Oh, get your money. This is the last warning. You've been warned. I told you so. All this bullshit. Fuck you guys. Nobody likes the smart ass who says, I told you so. Nobody likes that. So anyway, with that said, you want to be careful and by that, let's see. So you got to be careful to understand what's going on. You don't want to be in ETFs. You want to own the gold and the silver. You want to own it. And really, I think you're pretty safe in a safe. I don't know. In my mind, if people are going to be criminal because they're going to be desperate, and we're not at that stage, I think they go to the jewelry store and they go to the coin store and rob them because they know they have. If I just randomly walk into an apartment, I have no idea if there's any money in their gold. I mean, these are where I'm living is not, I'm not at Pebble Beach. I'm not at the south of France and Cannes and Nice and Monte Carlo, where there's money there. So you walk into my place, you won't know I have anything. I did hear about the freezer. Apparently I have mine in Cool Whip in the freezer, and now I'm hearing that people are saying don't leave the gold in the freezer because of medications. So a lot of people have their medications in the freezer. For some reason, I don't know why, the robbers would look in the freezer and take the medication. Maybe that has value. I don't know. I would want money or gold. I wouldn't steal medications. But anyway, like I was watching the movie The Thief with James Caan, and he steals diamonds, and you're like, what the fuck you do? Just take the money. You don't have to, because he had a fence that would pay him money for the diamonds. And you're like, what the fuck? Just steal money or gold. These people complicate their lives by missing the most basic things. In other words, you flop 4 of a kind, you don't bet. You bet a little on the river to keep the guy in. That's it. It's not hard to play that. And that's what you do. Now you buy gold and silver. That's the whole point. You don't fuck around with stocks. So let's look at, why do I want to be in stocks versus competition? I'm in stocks. I'm in Microsoft. I don't know what it's selling at. I don't really care. I hate Bill Gates, so I wouldn't buy it anyway. But let's say I bought it. What's my risk? It could go much lower. What's my reward? It goes up a little bit. It's already gone up. Let's say it's 150 share. What's my risk? It goes. My theoretical risk is maybe it goes down to 100. It won't go to 0. They're not going to go bankrupt. But let's say they go down to 100. I can lose. What's my upside? Can it go to 200? I doubt it, because you're running into an economy that's shrinking and his sales are going to go down. I don't like what he's doing with this Microsoft 360, where I have to now pay for Excel after he gave it away for nothing before. I don't really like that. But okay. But how many sales of Excel is he going to sell, or Microsoft 360? So let's say his stock can go to 175. So my risk is it goes down, and maybe it goes down to 100. And my reward is maybe it goes up to 175. Maybe it goes to 200. Maybe everybody gets out of all the car stocks and goes into Microsoft for safety. All right, let's say that, and then it goes to 200. So I'm at 150. I can go down to 100 or up to 200. 200 is what? 25% return on my investment. What are my competition? All the other stocks, diamonds, a Rolex, a painting, baseball cards, and putting money in a CD or an annuity at the bank, or the assault on Wall Street guy putting his money in real estate investment trust, or our way of gold and silver. Now, let's not talk about gold and silver now. Let's look at all the other factors. They all have huge risk, especially in inflation times. The money's losing value. The economy's not growing. It's shrinking. It's impossible for the economy to grow with costs going up. Costs go up, you buy less. How can the economy possibly grow? So all these other investments are high risk. More than likely, you're going to lose on them. Maybe you break even on them, but you have risk of it dropping, right? Maybe not the Mantle card, the money leaving the bank, the real estate investment trust we've already seen where they can't afford the payment and the REIT goes to zero and everybody's holding the bag. Margin call, attack on Wall Street where they went bankrupt, right? Wait a minute, I'm holding, yeah, but the guy's not paying his mortgage, so it's worthless. So we've seen REITs go to zero. We've seen stock markets crash. We've seen banks not pay out. We've seen the inflation of the dollar going to zero. So I got Microsoft stock at 175, but it's in dollars, which are losing value. So in every scenario, I'm on the Titanic. My investment can go down a lot. There's risk it can go down, especially with heavy inflation. And in this scenario with inflation and bank runs and stock market crashes and real estate crashes, there's a very strong chance I'm going to lose money on anything on the Titanic, right? Maybe I'll be okay in a Rolex watch, but it's really not money, but okay. I do well there, and I do well in a Mantle card or Joe Montana rookie. Probably do okay there because I have the card. I don't see how the Rolex is going to lose value. If the dollar goes down, the Rolex goes up. And the Mantle card, if the dollar goes down, the card should go up. Although it's going to be hard. See, the problem is people don't have money to spend on it. So it looks like it's going down until the new money comes out. And then until people realize it's an asset. So, diamonds, yeah, they're an asset. I'm switching my money into the Mantle card. I'm switching into the Brady card. I'm switching into diamonds. I'm switching into Rolex. You're probably okay because you're switching into assets. Microsoft is not, it's still in dollars or our fabulous Bitcoin or leaving it in the bank or real estate investment trust. Any of those with the dollar, you're fucked because it goes down, you go down. So you're in assets, but the best asset is gold and silver. So now what was I going to buy? 100 shares at $150 a share of Microsoft. So what's that? Let's just say it's 10,000 let's call it 50,000 to keep it even. Or for 50 grand, I can go ahead and buy gold and silver. And can it go down? No. In this situation, it can't go down. So now, what's your risk? Zero. Gold and silver will not go down. The real estate investment trust, the money in the bank, even if you leave it there, the value of the dollar is dropping. Can you get the money out of the bank? If I hold the gold, I got it right here. I've got it. Okay, I don't have to worry about not having it, or they print more and then it's worthless. So that's really what you've got. You have zero risk. It's not going down, especially in this situation. Is there competition to it? Maybe a Mantle card and maybe diamonds, a painting, a Picasso, maybe. there's a lot more demand for gold and silver than you got for Picasso or diamonds or the mantle card. Oh, mantle card, you got a lot of demand, or the Montana, but are people going to want to go to cards as opposed to gold and money, gold and silver? That's really what you got to ask. So with that said, you have the highest demand in gold and silver. You have the least risk, nothing. And your reward is much bigger than Microsoft. You're looking at gold going from 2,000 to 50,000. Microsoft's not going from 150 to 50,000. There's no chance. Maybe it goes to 200, and then there's profit taking and kicking it back to 150. There's no product they can make now that people are going to be able to buy or afford to buy, and their costs are way up. So it becomes a real rough situation for them. So it's a no-brainer to buy gold and silver. Zero risk, huge reward, huge return. You have it. They can't print it. It's not like a real estate investment trust where it goes to zero, margin call, attack on Wall Street. You can't get Madoffed. Oh, well, yeah, but we don't really have any more. It's a Ponzi scheme. Sorry, you're all broke. That can't happen. I got gold and silver right here. It's right here. It's mine. It's my precious. I already have it. It can't go to zero. I got it. Only on the situation like a Madoff where you don't own anything and you don't have anything is where you can get fucked. And this is the competition to this that we're talking about versus a diamond, a painting, this gold chain, the Jordan card. It's all competition with the dollar, but the best competition is the gold and silver. And the fact that the silver price has been beaten down and is not at free market. One thing that Andrew McGuire said on the last show, which I showed you, was we don't know what the real market of physical gold and silver is. We're about to find out, but we don't know what that value is, but it's much, much higher for silver than $25. Right. I can guarantee you that. So once we get the physical market on gold and silver, not the paper, not the derivative. The derivative was supposed to be a way to kind of keep an eye on what the market was saying that gold and silver price was. In other words, here's our price for gold and silver, but then they started fucking around with it and made it a fix and kept the price low so you would stay in dollars as they deteriorated to zero so they could fuck everybody, which is what they've done. So you're sitting there on gold and silver at 25 an ounce, and we know it's going to go through the moon as soon as the physical market takes over. Thank God for Russia and China and the BRICS countries coming out with gold-backed dollars, which is going to make it go through the roof. And that is the silver lining of China and Russia doing what they're doing. But that's really the substitute. Again, it all comes back to economics. It always comes back to Austrian economics, Adam Smith. Adam Smith was based on observations. You're playing poker. He bets 15,000. You're not asking why. He eats Oreo cookies. You're not picking that up as his tell. So you're supposed to be watching all this, and Matt Damon comes across like he does, but he doesn't get it. The other guy, KGB's not reading his straight. He's betting 2,000 and the guy's calling. And then he bets $4,000 and the guy's calling. You think he's calling on an inside straight draw? I mean, at best, at worst, he's got 4, 5, 6, 7, and he's looking for the 3 or 8. Do you think he's actually going to call? Is that his normal game? So, I mean, these guys aren't paying attention. Again, it's observation. Again, that's Adam Smith. Again, that's the market. So the observation of the Oreos and the Cheerios and the Coca-Cola and the grocery store and the prices knowledge, it's too high. The market says, fuck you, I'm not paying. The dollar loses all its value. What do we say? Fuck you. We're over here. We're in the gold and silver. We want this. We don't want that. And that's the competition. So as long as there's competition, we're okay. It's when what they're trying to do is take away the competition. Oh, no, you got to have electric cars. There's no gas cars. What are you going to do with Shell and Mobil and Exxon? What are they going to just pick up and leave and saying, yeah, you're right. We'll go to Russia and China where they have oil there and we'll sell it there. We're not going to sell it. We're going to be an awfully poor country once because we don't have gold here, except for us. Most people are sitting in the stock market and Amazon, like the doctor at Meyer. I'm in Amazon stock and it goes down, and I'm watching it go down. Like, yeah, okay. You ever hear gold and silver? No, that doesn't move. Okay, here we go. Doesn't move. Sure, it doesn't. Okay, you keep pretending that you know what you're doing. So really, that's the whole class, right? It's observation. It's get into gold and silver because it's the competition to the dollar, and you want to be out of the dollar. For some reason, they're blowing it up. I only guess the Chinese are behind it because they're the ones who benefit. Anytime something's done, you got to look at who benefits. You have a war, who benefits? You have whatever, who benefits, right? There's a trade in football, who benefits, right? That's really the key, is who's benefiting. And basically that's what's happening. So we don't care who's benefiting it as long as it's us that are benefiting it. So we get into this to offset that. We have a choice. We can be in this or that. Why do we want to stay in this when the value is dropping? Now they can make it look like, oh, wait, look at the stock market's up. Everything's fine. And if you're stupid enough to listen because you don't know, that's where you got the problem. You don't understand, but you won't take the time to understand it. I got heavy inflation, but the stock market's okay. Wait a minute. No. Heavy inflation, stock market crashes. So, and then the biggest thing is the demand for this. Once you run out of demand and nobody wants it, it's gone. And that's 85 countries are out of it. Demands, value, demand here, values here. Mickey Mantle, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady. The demand goes down, the price goes down. The demand for this is going down. It used to be fake, so you could buy oil, but that's not but now you don't need this to buy oil. The demand for it has gone down internationally, and everybody's selling it back because it's losing value, right? As the dollar loses value, and I'm in France, I don't want the dollar, I'll go find something else. We already know what that something else is, but when everybody jumps onto this, can you imagine the price? Because it's going to be huge once everybody realizes, oh, I've got to get out of the dollar. Well, so does the euro people and the yen and the Chinese. They all realize that the Chinese and the Russians have already realized that we got to get out of our currency in the gold. And that's what they've done. China has 40,000 ounces of it. They realize what's going on. Most of Europe doesn't. The central banks are realizing what's going on, and they're making it difficult for the people to find it, to buy it. Yeah, I can buy an ounce here and an ounce there, and for me, that's okay. That's all I need. I don't need $1 billion of gold to live a nice life. 100 ounces is nice. I don't have 100, but I got a lot for me to when the price goes up, I can live very comfortably and never have to work again. I mean, that's how it'll be for me, buying all the ounces because I could see what was happening. The biggest key in life is action reaction, which I've talked about. A girl smiles at you. Does she mean it, or does she want your money? Pure and simple. And then you've got to just build it and figure out what's going on here. Is you like me for me or like me for that? And that's really the key to life is you do an action, there's a reaction to it. Then you got to read the reaction. And it's the same thing with girls and with poker and girls with guys. You're looking at the reaction and you're looking more into the eyes than you are really the words, because words are cheap, but the eyes don't lie. So if you're being smiled at and you say hi and they say hi and they seem sincere, it's real. But that's the same thing in poker. The action is I bet 1,000, and what's the reaction? You called. I better go and not take for granted the call, but why the call, right? You look at the girl, she smiles at you. Why the smile? Oh, okay, that's a good sign. Okay, but when I bet $1,000 and there's 3 hearts on board, or 7, 8, 9, then I'm okay. Wait a minute, he called. It's a smile. Chances are he's hit the straight or the flush, or there's a pair, probably got a full house. He's calling. If he raises, it's a whole different story. But if he's calling, you've got to read that reaction. And that's what most people don't do. And you're not reading the reaction in dollars. There's inflation. What's the reaction? The value of the dollar goes to shit. Inflation, no value. Inflation, Titanic. Inflation's the iceberg. It's hit the iceberg, you're gone. There's no rescuing it. You've already hit the iceberg. The dollar is losing value. The water is pouring into the ship. There is no, well, we'll save the ship. We got to get on another ship, right? We got to get to the gold ship. And then that can hit an iceberg and nothing will happen. And that's really what you're trying to do here, is get off the Titanic and onto the gold ship. Or if it's a girl, if she's not smiling at you anymore, but she used to, you got to get away from the girl. If it's, same thing with the job, same thing with the investment. You can't assume a football game if you're picking games. You have to really figure it out and look at how they played another team that's similar to the team they're playing. So it was Kansas City playing Philly. I looked at how they played Green Bay, and Green Bay lit them up. Green Bay put up 33 points. I said, well, this is going to be a high-scoring game, because KC doesn't really have that strong defense. So therefore, it led you to an over, and then you took the dog, because Philly against this style, it doesn't shut them out. And we know how Mahomes is, where that's what you're looking at, right? Is now if Philly would have beat Green Bay and other strong passing, if they would have beat Cincinnati, then I would have sat there and said, oh, okay, I'm not going to, KC won't move on them. You're fucked. And that's really what you're looking for. So you're looking at similar patterns to get you to the correct outcome. So when I talked to Nick about his mathematical, he wants to do mathematical formulas. He used to. Now I think he's seen the light from the professor. But and it was a good thought by Nick. I gave him credit, but I already knew the answer was it's never going to work, because too many changes and too many variables. You're better off looking for similar teams. And then you're better off looking at KC beat Cincinnati. They can beat Philadelphia. And Joe Burrow is much better than Hurts. So you're looking at similar things that will get you the answer you're looking for. And that's really economics. You see the inflation, you see the prices going up. What can I do? I can go buy a shitload of hamburger now, cheap. I can, my car's paid off, and you just try to buy things cheap now before they go up. But even when they go up, are they going to stay up? And that's really the question. Can Orioles stay at $5 a pack? No, they can't, because people won't afford it and they'll have to lower their price to stay in business. So you've got to understand that also very much, that it's not, inflation is not prices, it's the money supply. It's the value of the money. Once it goes down, it goes down. It doesn't go back up. The only way out of it is to kill it and print new money. But the only way out of it is this, your gold and silver. That's the only way out of what the mess they're in, is the gold. But they don't own any gold. And you got Keynesians running it who don't believe in gold, who believe in just keep printing the money. In other words, well, the money won't lose value. We can keep printing it and it won't lose value. These are the idiots in charge. And that's really the problem. So with that said, that's your basis. So in football, you're looking for the competition. Poker, you're reading the player's reaction to your action. You make a bet. How does he react? You check. How does he react? And the key is understanding what the reaction means. So name and checks, KBG checks, I would think KBGB has a big hand. If I smell what the rock's cooking in that poker hand, and they're both checking the $30,000 hand in the beginning, I got aces and nines. I don't know what he has, but I'll just assume he's on a flush draw. Well, you can't assume that. You bet $2,000, he calls. You check, he checks. You're not using your head. You're not asking, well, wait, I checked. I would have expected him to bet, even if he is on a flush draw. I don't expect him. He's an aggressive player. I'm not expecting him to check again. Something's up. And then the three of spades hits. Did he really check to catch a flush with a pair of nines on board? Probably not. And you're slow playing. I love the first words out of his mouth. Well, I can't slow play KGB. And then what does he do? He slow plays him on the turn, and then when he wins all the money back at the end, he slow plays him constantly. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. One of the worst written films I've ever seen. But again, it's what is he doing? And so your real question and the observation, action reaction in poker is why? Why is he checking? And you can't just assume, well, he's got nothing, because people in my level are gonna. We don't have to bet a full house. I got 4 nines. I'm not betting it. It's not that hard to check and hide your hand. That's a very common play, especially by better players. So how these guys, Eric Seidel, well, he checked. I'm going to go all in because I'm assuming he's weak. He checked. Maybe he's got the nuts. You've got to think of everything, and these guys are just so stupid. Are you buying the dollar? It's going down. It's inflation. It's going down. It's worth less. Why would I buy dollars? I got to buy gold and silver. That's the reaction to the inflation. Inflation's the action. The reactions, you buy this. Not buy an annuity, not buy stocks, not buy bonds. The reaction to inflation is gold and silver. No risk, huge reward. You've got to buy assets, so you could buy a mantle card, but is there enough people buying the mantle card to force it up? The beauty of gold and silver, it's been held down. So the real price of silver is not $26 an ounce. That's why you buy the silver. Where the mantle card real price of, let's say, a PSA 10 1965 tops regular mantle card's probably $1 million. There's no, it's undervalued. That is the market for that card because eBay says so. You don't have a real eBay price on gold and silver. It's still kept at the COMEX fake price. So there's really not a hidden value in the Mantle card. It's $1 million. That's what we know. It's a PSA 10. It is what it is. The Jordan rookie is at market. The Montana rookie's 100 grand. It's at market. So is the Rice rookie. So you're not really benefiting. It's already priced at market, but this isn't. So the reason we're jumping on this, it's not priced at market. It's priced way under market. Therefore, because it's priced under market, that's why we buy the silver at 25. That's why we keep buying the silver at 25. All we can eat silver at 25, because we know that the market is not right. The 25 is not the real price of silver. The physical price of silver is 2,000 or 3,000, and that's a guess. It could be a lot higher because we have inflation and we have a war. And gold and silver are gonna, because the reason this gets shit on is because it's expensive to have a war. You got to buy the bullets, you got to buy the cannons, you got to buy the planes and the tanks, and you got to feed the men. And there's a lot of cost and no revenue. So the costs go up, which means you got to print the money, which means the money loses value. That's why gold and silver go up in a war, because it's priced in dollars, so the value of the dollar has to drop because you got to pay all these dollars to pay for the war. That's why gold and silver is not going up with it. So as I print and give $80 billion to the Ukraine, it's not being factored into this. This price should go in to the amount of money you're printing, but it doesn't. That's why the 25 is bullshit. You have all this war, you printed $1 million and this hasn't moved. That's impossible. It has to move, because since this is priced in dollars, the more dollars you printed, the less it's worth. This has to be on the other end of the scale. I'm printing dollars means the price goes up. I'm printing dollars, but the price is still here. Like the teeter-totter didn't teeter. It tottered, but it didn't teeter. And that's what we know. And that's the why. And so therefore, once this hits its value, and this is the only thing to not hit its market. So on eBay, it is not the real price, because I can still I can get the ounce that I bought for $35 Saturday for $43 on eBay. Okay, that is still not at market. That is just still COMEX, right? The guy selling it at the store for 35 is not market. That's still COMEX. So until it catches up to how badly you've printed this to death, that's why this is undervalued. That's why this is a 100% lock bet. You can't lose on it, and you're going to make so much money on it. It's really a one-way, lock. It's going. You can't lose. It's going up. I've never seen anything like it in my life, where risk is zero and rewards 1,000%. You can't give me a stock. You can't give me a bond. You can't give me a Mantle card. You can't give me the Montana card. You can't give me diamonds. You can't give me a Picasso. Everything there is priced, like the Rolex is already priced at the Rolex, right? You can't, there's nothing against it that you can have, right? The Rolex is priced at market. It sells for 30,000. It's 30,000. It might go up to 40 because the dollar is worthless, but basically it's at 30,000. That's what what it's at. So therefore, because the market price of the Rolex, you're not going to get that extra kick that you're going to get in gold and silver. If you pay $25 an ounce for the silver, that's nowhere near the market. So this is the only asset that's not close to its real market price. So this is, like I said, it's like selling my whiskey at $2. Well, we know the market price is it's at least 50, maybe it's 60 by now. That's like selling this for $2. It's not the real price, but the difference is you can see it on the shelf for 60. Well, that's the Rolex on the shelf for 60, and that's the Jordan card and the Mantle card. You see the real price of those on eBay. It's not a guess. They're not $5, but we don't know what the real price is. Only gold and silver is being held not at its real price. And that's the key to it. Now, Howard, it hasn't hit its real price. How is it going to hit it? And that's where I'm telling you, the difference this time is the BRICS countries. So the BRICS countries come in and they want a dollar backed by gold because nobody trusts them. They don't trust themselves, but everybody trusts gold and everybody trusts the dollar backed by gold. They'll throw their dollars, the US dollars away and their Swiss francs and everything else and jump on the BRICS dollar backed by gold. And that's what everybody's going to do, which forces the gold price to reel. So that's what's changed. So it's like betting on Kansas City before Mahomes going, well, they never beat Oakland. And then they get Mahomes, and then they start beating Oakland, right? Well, what got Mahomes? Now they beat Oakland, where they couldn't beat them before. And that's really the key to it here is, why will gold and silver go to its real price now? Well, because of Mahomes or BRICS countries having money backed by gold. That's really the key to it. So that's what you got to think like. Action, reaction for poker, for football, for money, investments, for women or boy or men. If you're a woman, you're looking at, you're given an action, you want a reaction. And then you have to decipher the reaction. He smiled at me. He likes me. He asked for my number, or she did, yada, yada, yada. They're looking for a serious relationship. They're not looking for a serious relationship. So you're got to ask these questions because you got to get the reaction. You're talking to people. If you're having a talk, you're looking for the reaction, and then you got to understand the reaction, right? That's really the key to it. What does the reaction mean? Dry your skin, yeah. I always hate when you get the green part. Just tastes funny. So that's really what life is. You do an action, you get a reaction. If it's money, if it's gambling, if it's poker, if it's investing, you're looking at risk reward. With people in poker, you're going to throw an action out there because you want to see a reaction. You make a bet in poker to see the reaction of the player. You bet a football game because you want to see how they played similar teams. So you should already know what's going to happen in the game based on how they play a similar team. And that's it. So that's where I figured out the defenses. The teams with the strongest defenses that are real, that are playing good offensive teams, not like Philadelphia, more like Cincinnati, have the real defense, San Francisco. You know what they're going to do with that defense. So you already understand that. The fake defense like Philadelphia, and KC doesn't really have that strong of a defense. They're not going to stop you. So then you could bet on them because they're going to score a lot. So my fear was Kansas City's not going to move on Cincinnati, which they really didn't. They got lucky to win on a bad call, but okay. Well, we had Cincinnati in the game because we know we're betting Cincinnati's defense and Joe Burrow. So again, we're looking at the picture, how they're going to move. We're looking at the action and the reaction. So pretty much the reaction to gold is the demand's huge. The reaction to the price, it's not at market yet. We'll be moving by the it'll be moving because of the BRICS countries. So the BRICS countries is the Mahomes now. Well, why? It hasn't moved in 50 years. Why is it going to get off of COMEX now? Because the dollar is going away. It's no longer the lead curve. There's BRICS countries are going to a gold-backed dollar. You have all these things that are new hitting at once, creating this demand for the gold and getting rid of the dollar. And you have all that happening at the same time. And that's why now versus 50 years, again, it's a change. The reactions have changed. The actions have changed. That's why I believe it's going up where before it isn't. And it's a good question. The barbecue guy asked me, well, why should I be in it now? It's never moved because of BRICS, because of the gold backed currency and this and this and this and the inflation. So you can name 15 things, and now you can see the demand shoots for gold and silver around the world, and people here haven't really figured it out yet, but some of them are. And when I go to my guy on Saturday and he's got nothing but stained silver and he's still charging 35 an ounce for it, and he's got no bullion silver, and he's got no, hey, Bobby Bo, and he's got very little gold, that tells you the demand's there, and that's what's changed. Well, I'm at the end of the class. I'm 2 hours into it, but I was just showing. So here's I'm getting ready for my trip. So I've got my silver, and then I've got my gold. So this is what I'll give Jenna, and I'm going to keep this in my pocket, this in my suitcase. When I get on the plane, after I leave Philadelphia and I'm now going to Barcelona, this will go back into the case, and I'll just give this to Jenna. And that'll be it. And then she can put her other silver into this. That's how I look at it. But I've been talking a lot about the market, Bobby. No. I'm talking about like airport security. No, I don't think they'll take it. I'm just really testing it. I don't see them taking it from me. But I don't know that I want to leave it in the plastic on the little plastic tray. I think I just want to put the coins out and then put some quarters out there. And I just happen to have a lot of change on me. I've never seen them go after change before. I think they're looking at weapons. So again, this is kind of a test, but I'm not really worried about it. I could probably just leave it in here and off I go. And then I'm packing my polo. I'm a little worried about this because it's 4 ounces, but I don't know what else to do with it. So I'm going to put it in a towel, put it in my suitcase. Since it's carry-on, I'm not really worried about breaking it. And then hopefully wrapped in the towel. They're lazy. They won't do anything with it. If they do, they throw it out. Then I got to go buy some more polo. But Jenna was like mad, like, oh, where's your perfume? And I'm like, I'm scared to bring it. They're gonna they're not going to let it go on the plane, which before they wouldn't, but I think they're more lax now. Well, I'm not bringing any kangaroos. I'm bringing the silver dollars, the eagles, and then I got a Cougaron quarter and an American quarter. Let her have a little variety. Now in the Ukraine, they both should be a quarter ounce of gold. There really shouldn't be much of a difference in price. But I am kind of being a little bit I don't want to give her 2 American quarters. I'm going to play it safe. So I'm going to give her 1 and a Cougaron and go from there. But thanks will be it. She's leaving tomorrow night. She leaves Tuesday night, Ukraine time. No, I think she leaves tonight. She's got a 21-hour train ride to get to Poland to catch. She's got a Thursday flight. So my flight leaves Thursday at 11. So I actually have to set an alarm. I don't know what time to get there. I guess we'll board at 10:15. So I got to get through security by like 9:30. But security in Detroit, this isn't the main airport. It's usually the longest I usually stay there is 20 minutes. It's not normally a long security thing. So I'll go to the machine and get my boarding pass and then go to security. I got my passport out. It's like, okay, don't forget this, dummy. The 2 things, don't forget these 2. And then this is just a printout. So I have this on my phone. Well, I did. It's in my email, but we'll do that. And I got to put I had the hotel on it, but the hotel got fucked up because of the phone, right? So I still have the new phone, and I think I put the picture of the hotel on it, but what if I don't have, what if my phone doesn't have power? I don't need the internet, I just need the pictures, but, so I'm going to write the name of the hotel for the cab driver on the back of my flight, because I get there, I get to Philly at 1, and then I leave at 7:25, so we'll board at 6:25 for Barcelona, and then you fly all night, and you get there, and it's 2 a.m, but it's really 9 a.m because you lose time because of Barcelona time. So now it's the morning, so you really get fucked out of your Thursday. You don't sleep Thursday, whatever. Who can sleep on the plane? And so that's that. But anyway, so I'm ready. I mean, I got that. Got the gold. So really, I think I'm all set. Really, I just got to pack, which I'll do probably tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'll pack a little tonight. And that's about it. And I got to do my taxes, which should take me about a half hour tomorrow because I do short form. I got the W-2s. It's just plug them in. Here's what I got paid. Here's what my taxes were. I'm done. Because I don't do anything long term. Even if I were to donate to charity, it's not enough to really get the credit for it. So pretty much tomorrow I do the taxes. And that's it. Next Monday I do unemployment. I got to run to the unemployment for some bullshit thing. It's like to help me find a job. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I've been chosen. Like, what the fuck? I got a master's and I apply to like 100 jobs a week on Indeed, and I got to waste an hour tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I'm going to miss Where Eagles Dare again. I'm going to miss an hour of it. Like, I can't believe that. But she said Tuesday or Thursday, and Thursday I'm flying. I'm at 10 o'clock. I'm at the airport. So I'm really like, I couldn't do Thursday. I said, no, it's got to be Tuesday, but I didn't get into why. And she says, okay, so tomorrow, 10 o'clock, I got to go there and waste my time. But so I got to do that in taxes tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll do a show tomorrow. We will see. I'll be a little bit busy, but taxes shouldn't take long. And that's it. And I'll pack. So I'll probably pack tonight. Simple pack. Barcelona. So it's getting warm here anyway. And that's about it. So I bought my gold and silver, so I don't have to look at the stock market to see what's happening. I'll check the gold price to see if it spikes. And then I'll see what I can do. Hopefully the debit and credit cards work in Spain. I assume they do. I know a lot of countries are getting off the dollar, but I don't think if I go out to eat and I use my Chase credit card, I don't think they're worried about Chase paying them back. This is not the government. This is the banks. And so a Chase credit card, I can't see a restaurant going, well, oh, it's a Chase card, they're not going to pay us back. I don't think they're going to worry about that. I think I'm fine with the money. And then if I need to use the ATM, I'll have money in my checking account. So that's really it. It's looking at that. So I'm pretty much set. This unemployment thing, I need like a hole in the head. But fortunately, it's tomorrow, and I'm just going to, whatever. I look for jobs, and here we go. So that's what's going on there. Again, talking a lot of action, reaction. You're talking to a girl. How does she react? So you're throwing out an action to get a reaction. Then you got to determine what the reaction is. Did she smile at me? Did she look away? If she looks away, I move on. If she starts talking to me and we make eye contact, like you with that Spanish girl or the Cuban girl, then it's fine. And then you go from there. And the same thing with poker. KGB makes a bet. The guy checks. What's the action and reaction in the opening hand, the 30,000, and at the ending hand? And what was, he checks and KGB calls at the end, raises at the end. That was his reaction to the check. KGB saying, I have aces and you are on a draw. And he checked to mislead him that he wasn't on the draw. So you're looking action, reaction. You're looking competition of the dollar is this. Risk and reward. The risk of owning gold and silver are zero. The reward is bigger than any reward you're going to get in anything else because the price has been suppressed. So as I say, you can be in the market, you can be in the bonds, you can be in a real estate investment trust. Those are your options with dollars, or leave it in the bank getting 1% on your money. And in all cases, your risk is huge and your reward is zero because the dollar is losing value. This is going to zero. So if you're holding dollars, 100,000 of something losing value is 50,000. It's 20,000. That's your risk. Even if you make money, your risk is it's going to zero and your reward's nothing. There is no reward. Microsoft stock might go up 10 points. Gold and silver, your risk is zero and your reward's 1,000%. Where else can you find no risk and reward? And even if you're in the Mantle card or the Bobby Bow card, or you're into Brady card, or you're into diamonds, or you're into Picasso's, they're at market value. If you go on eBay for a Mantle card and you see PSA 9, 1965 tops, it's 700,000. That's the market, right? That's what the market is. Montana's rookie card's 100,000. It's not a secret. You know what the market is. In gold and silver, you don't know what the market is. $25 an ounce for bullion is not the real price, as if the Montana and the Mantle cards are at the real price. Montana's 100,000 for his rookie. That's the price. That's the market. $25 for silver is not the market. So you're not even at a real market for these, and wait till they go. They're going to go way, way up. So that's the extra benefit of gold and silver over a Mantle card or a Brady card or diamonds or my jewelry or the Picasso. They're already in it market. You're not really going to gain that much, right? It's pretty much Mantle cards, $1 million for 65 tops, PSA 9. That's pretty much what the value is. But this is not anywhere near what its real value is. As Andy McGuire said, they're not at market. They're at derivative, and it's being forced down. So you have a price that's not real. That's the other bonus of gold and silver. So not only do you have huge demand, it's the only competition to get out of this, and it's not priced right. So when it gets priced properly, so you've got zero risk. This is not going down. This cannot go down. You have zero risk and you have huge reward, and you can't do that anywhere else. But nobody mentions it. Go call your stockbroker. See if he mentions it. He won't. I mean, it's insane. They don't mention go buy gold and silver. What do they say? Buy a mutual fund, or I heard buy like paintings, marketplace, where you buy a part of a Picasso. Like, yeah, if you think that's going to make you money, you're being Madoffed. That's a total Madoff. Oh, well, it's not like it's like the ETF gold. You're not going to get the gold. You're going to get the value of the gold, maybe, but you're not. If you think you own physical, you don't. So people buying ETFs thinking, well, I got 50 ounces of gold. You don't have anything. That's the scam. Those guys should be put in jail, much like the Madoff and the Wall Street. So here in gold and silver world, you own the physical. You have no risk. You can't lose. The value of it will never go to zero, and it's only going to go through the roof. And you can't find that anywhere else. That's not a Ponzi scheme. Madoff can't. You can't. I have the gold, so you can never do this. I have the gold, and now I don't have it, and now it's worth zero. That can never happen. You have it, right? Nobody can print this or copy this and make this worthless. If you have it, you're going to have the real ounce. You're going to have the real value of gold, and it's never going to zero. So you have no worry about this. were you doing them in a Madoff? Oh, I thought I had all this money. Well, you don't. And everybody kills themselves because they've been Ponzi'd. Well, if you have this, you have this. It's there. You can't. Nobody can fuck around with it. Oh, well, they printed all the gold and now it's worthless. Or the Madoff guys didn't put money in, so yeah, your gold's worthless. You can never hear that. You can never see it go to zero. That's the beauty of it. The perfect investment, especially with everything happening now. So basically, Bobby, that was class. Football, where you talked about briefly just why we don't like the Ohio State, Alabama quarterbacks, because it's a system and they don't play against pro defenses unless Alabama plays against LSU and they don't really do much. We look at Hooker, who threw up 50 against Alabama, and you want to put him at the same class as Richardson? Really? You think Richardson's as good as Hooker? He's not even on the same field, nor Levis, nor CJ Stroud. I don't know why CJ Stroud, I guess he had a good game against Georgia and everybody's giving him credit for that, but that's bullshit. He just ran around a lot because Georgia wasn't expecting him to run because he didn't do shit against Michigan. What's he going to do? Is he going to be like Fields on Chicago, run around? Because Fields can't hit the broadside of a barn nor read a blitz. I mean, that's basically what you have going on there. So again, Hooker and Thompson Robinson and Bennett are your best three quarterbacks. That's who I would draft if I can't find a Mean Joe Green, a Ham. I keep saying that. Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Mel Blount. That's what you want to get first. You get your Dwight White, you get your LC Greenwood, your Joe Green, your Ham, your Lambert, your Mel Blount, your Mike Wagner. That's what you should be looking for, not the quarterback. Quarterback next year. Lock in these guys, and then you go to the quarterback. You do that, you'll be in the Super Bowl in 2 years in this league because nobody has a defense. I mean, it really sucks. And like Baltimore, they want to give the credit to Lamar Jackson. Look how many games he's won. Why is he getting the credit? It should be the defense should be getting the credit. He doesn't do anything. He blew a 17-0 lead to Buffalo. He didn't score anymore after halftime. How is, that he might be responsible for, but not the defense. The defense held Buffalo to 20 points. They played a great game. They should have won, especially with the 17-point lead. They shouldn't be blowing that. Anyway, so that's pretty much life's about competition and about action reaction. And we touched on both very strongly today because I'm tired of, I keep seeing all these like Burger King going bankrupt, other store, Walmart's going out, and it's really competition and inflation, and they can't raise their prices, right? So it was really starting off, Bobby, by people having inflation, raising their prices over market, like the ribs for $40, and then people not willing to pay it, and then you have to go out of business. And I think that's why Burger King's going out, because they can't charge $7 for a Whopper and expect people to pay it and stay in business, competing with Wendy's and McDonald's. So they're the weaker of the three. That's why they're going out. It's all because of the inflation. I don't expect McDonald's to go out because it seems to be real popular with kids, and Wendy's is popular. I can get a baked potato and chili there. So that's kind of been Wendy's little trick. They came in like that. So again, the competition is go to Coney Island or go to the grocery store and buy your pig's ears or buy your hamburger at $5 a pound and make 9 hamburgers for $15 versus the 2 hamburgers you'd get at Wendy's for $15. And that's really the key to it. So that's what we were talking about. A lot of economics, but how economics flows into all these other areas: women, gold, investments, football. So it's all about supply, demand, the market. We control the market, so prices won't necessarily go up if we don't allow it, right? If Coca-Cola goes to $10 a bottle and we don't buy it, it comes back down to $2 a bottle. If we don't buy it, it can't go up in price. Never forget that, Don Corleone, because it'll stay on the shelf and then they're not making money on it. So they got to realize, oops, we did a price hike. And they know, most businesses know, you do a price hike, you're going to lose a lot of customers, especially if you do a big price hike. So if you raise Coke from $1.59 to $2.99, that'll never take. You can't give that high of a price hike. You can say, well, it's inflation. People don't give a shit. They're going to say, I'm not buying it. I'm going to go buy 7-Up or Dr. Pepper, or, you'll just buy it. You don't care. You just want something that tastes decent. And that's really it. So I'm not loyal to Coke or Pepsi or any of that shit. I'm trying to just have water and tea, basically. But that's about it. So anyway, we leave Thursday morning. So I definitely won't do a show Thursday because I won't get there. I won't get to Barcelona till Friday at 9 a.m. So no show Thursday and no show Friday. Maybe Saturday from Barcelona or maybe Sunday, but only if really something pops up. Probably the week after, the Monday, Tuesday, I'll be there until Friday. I leave the 21st, so maybe the 17th, the 18th, something like that. I'll probably do it. Otherwise, that's about it, and I will report back how these went. I could just have this in my pocket and take it out. I don't really want to leave it in the suitcase and have them look at it. I just assume put it in the plastic. But if I know I just keep it as change, they won't say anything, and then I can put it back here, and I can put the plastic in my suitcase, and they're not going to say anything. They'll just see the plastic like it's for the toothpaste, right? So I think that's what I'm going to do, and just to be safe, not really worried, but why look for trouble? So again, being an INFJ, that's what I'm looking at, and we'll go from there. So that's kind of the game plan. Because eventually we'll be taking 2 or 3 of these full of silver and a little bit of gold to cash them in if we have a problem here. Again, we don't want this. We don't really want any of the paper bullshit dollars unless we need to pay a bill. So if I got to pay a credit card payment there, but fortunately, I don't know how long Social Security, unemployment's only 20 weeks is a joke, but Social Security, we'll have to see how long we will go with that, and we will see. So hopefully it's around for a while, but that would be why I would have to cash in. But it's probably more going to be to buy a house. People will need it. They'll see it's gold. It'll be 40, 50,000 an ounce at least. It won't be priced in dollars at a point. It'll just be priced in gold. It's gold. It's gold. I can buy a house with it. And that's basically when I'll buy a house. And there won't be a sale. It'll be, here's your ounce of gold. I'll take your house. Thank you very much. And that'll be what'll happen, or a car. I can see going to Mercedes with the half ounce and buying a nice Mercedes. So, I mean, that's what will happen. So it doesn't matter if gold's priced in dollars or not. But this is definitely going away. But in my mind, the next step is a new one of these. They'll come out with the Canadian plastic dollar as a replacement, and they'll blame the Russians. And then we will, how long that's going to last? Probably not that long if it's not backed by gold, which it can't be because we don't have any gold. What a fucked up country we have, huh? These idiots don't understand gold and don't have any, and they want to run the country. How do you run a country without gold? I don't understand how you miss the basic premise of what gold is and how you think you're just going to keep printing the money. Well, we'll just keep printing. Oh, we need more money. We'll just keep printing. Doesn't work like that, fellas. Anyway, so we'll make out. but that's basically what we have. I'm going to go buy a bathing suit, go to the pool, and tomorrow I got taxes and this unemployment bullshit to do. Again, that shouldn't take me too long, so I might come on in the afternoon, but we'll see what happens with that. And outside of that, that's about it. So have a wonderful day, Bobby. Glad you got here. www.teaserking.com. Please feel free to email me there and I will respond. So you got me tomorrow and Wednesday, and then Thursday I'm traveling, so I won't be around. So keep your eye on the gold price. Again, we need it to get off of COMEX, which is happening soon. Otherwise, I think that's about it. Have a wonderful day and take care, everybody. All right. www.teaserking.com.